Good morning, team, and welcome to episode 13 of Self-Reflection Sunday. So, unlucky 13. So I thought what I would do is I would explain why I recently resigned from comm marketing. So first of all, for the people that didn't know, for the past 12 months, a bit over 12 months, I was working at comm marketing. Our comm marketing is a marketing business that specialises in fitness. So to give you a bit of a background, back in April last year, I signed up with comm marketing, first doing a remote role down in South Australia, and then moving to Sydney in July of last year. So 2 months ago now, just over 2 months ago in June, I decided to resign. It was a very hard decision, I will admit. It was a very hard decision to do that because, it was a very good role. It was opening a lot of doors for me, and I really enjoyed the team and working with them, and everyone was really helpful. So I'd just like to, obviously thank comm for inviting me in. But the reason I did quit was because even though I was helping people, I wasn't helping people the way I really wanted to. And I feel that I've got a pretty good skill set of being a personal trainer, and I feel like I was missing out on helping people with that. Because my role was very different, I was helping trainers get more clients. That was the sort of role I was doing. So I was missing out on getting those clients, and that's the reason I decided to quit. And there's a bit of a theme, I think, over the past, I'm going to say 10, 11 years of my working life, from about 17, 18. And, I haven't lasted too long in many roles. So to give everyone a bit more of a background of my history, started working when I was 18, straight out of school in some vineyards. They were all good, but I knew that I wanted to join the army. So I did that until I got into the army, obviously resigned from them, and then joined the army. Hey Michael, thanks for joining me. So I joined the military when I was 19, just before my 20th birthday, and did that. Did my army time, did my 4 years, and then again decided that the army wasn't for me. So resigned from that, and then got into being a personal trainer. So I did that for a couple of years, went to try and go for another role, that didn't work out, and then I've come to comm. So, and then I did comm and have since left. So, sometimes I wonder whether there's a bit of a theme going on where, I often speak to my parents and my friends, and, sometimes they go, oh yeah, well, you do seem to quit a bit. And then I think about it and I go, oh, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with what I'm doing? And I have come to this conclusion that yes, the roles that I've chosen, I thought they were going to be different. I thought that I could enjoy them and could make them work. However, I've come to the realization that personal training, coaching people in fitness, specifically fitness, is what I want to do, is what I like to do. And that's where I'm going to go. Now, obviously, going from the army, that was a perfect job in the way of it paid the bills. You didn't necessarily need to be very good at it because you couldn't literally be fired. And there was obviously lots of different avenues you could go down. However, I didn't enjoy it, so instead of taking the easier option and just staying in the army, I decided to leave, and then became a personal trainer. Again, when I came to comm, financially it was a good role. Career progression-wise, it was a great role. I got to meet a lot of people, and because of that, I was in a lot of interesting places, and then a lot of people knew who I was and know who I am because of that. And again, without really much of a plan, I decided to leave comm, even though it wasn't the financially and, security wise, it wasn't the best decision. I could have stayed at Com, could have kept, doing well there, but it wasn't my passion. So, I really did enjoy the role, but it wasn't, 100% my passion. So what I've learned from this experience is you really do need to follow your passion. And, of course, it's very easy for me. I understand it's very easy for me to sit here and tell you this because I have very little responsibilities. 28 years old, single, no kids, anything like that. No, mortgage or anything like that. So I can make these types of decisions and quite quickly anyway. So I'm like, I want to quit, I'll quit. I don't need to really figure everything out and plan and then go from one role to the next sort of thing. So I understand that every situation is different, but you need to ensure, this is what I've learned anyway, you need to ensure that you set yourself up to making sure that you're doing your passion. Making sure that you set yourself up financially so that you can obviously do pay for your responsibilities, but then also make sure you're doing what you want to do. And, it's interesting because I have taken the harder road. The amount of people that have told me over the past couple of months when I'm saying I'm returning to personal training, it's pretty hard to be a personal trainer. You probably want to get another job, some sort of supplementary income, do something on the side because, it's a hard business. And yes, I would agree. I've done it for the past 4 years, sort of off and on. I did it for 2 years straight, and it was bloody hard. I would agree. Would very much agree. It is a very hard job, and I think that's like anything. Like with everything that is worth doing in life, it's always hard. There is no easy options in business in general. No business is easy. The personal training one is quite difficult because it's a service-based business. I believe any service-based business are quite hard, especially when you're trying to get repeat business because the person doesn't get anything. So I do understand that, yes, what I am doing is harder, but I would rather try and do what I'm passionate about and hopefully not, but if have to, fail and then go, okay, well, I need to reassess and go from there. Instead of just taking the easy option and just going, I'm just going to do this and, go down the easy road. Because I could have done that. I could have stayed in the military. It would have been the easy road. Or I could have, maybe if I didn't do that, I could have stayed at Com. It wouldn't have been as easy as the Army because the Army is very easy, but it would have been easier than what I'm doing now. Because I already had a job. I was already getting paid. So of course it was easier. And then I'm deciding to move back to Brisbane as well. So that's a big responsibility. That's a big choice because I feel like that'll be easier up there. But so what I've learned from all of this is you shouldn't just accept whatever sort of situation you're in if you're unhappy with it. Again, like I said, I understand everyone's got different responsibilities and all of that, and I can appreciate that. So you've just got to set yourself up. And this is something I learned from Gary Vaynerchuk. He talks about working a shit job. He often says something like 7-Eleven or like a sort of that sort of style of job where you're, working at a cashier, sort of, Woolworths or something like that, where you're paying your bills and then at night you're working on your passion. So, that's something that I'm going to work on when I'm up in Brisbane. But yeah, that's, I've taken the harder road, and I think it's very important in life to do that because, that's where I'm going to hopefully find and, really develop my skills as a trainer and become very passionate about that. So yeah. And I just wanted to take this opportunity as well to make sure that I say thank you to Com Marketing because they did take a risk on me because I didn't have any experience in marketing specifically other than working with my own business. And, over the past 12 months, I've learned quite a lot. and I really appreciate everything that the team at Com Marketing taught me, because I would often come in with the most simplest of questions because I didn't know it, and they would give me the time of day. So I really do appreciate that, and obviously I'll be staying in contact with them and getting them to do all my marketing things that I can't do. But yeah, so the overall sort of theme of today is making sure that if you aren't happy with where you are, you've got to change that situation. Again, I can do things quickly, I can move quickly because of my situation. If you can't do that, you need to set yourself up so you can. You need to put yourself in a position where you are happy, because you only get one go around on the merry-go-round, and I would hate to get to the end of my life and regret decisions and go, oh, I wish I'd done that. I don't have many regrets because of what I do. I change my situation as quickly as I can for that reason. Maybe later in life I'll have to obviously make decisions, but hopefully now I can set myself up for that. So I would love to hear from you, team. Have you done something similar to me, or are you thinking about doing something similar to me? Are you thinking about it, and hopefully maybe this has inspired you to do that? Because the biggest thing I want to get from all of this is I want to help inspire people to live their best life. And I know sometimes that sounds very cliche, and I get it, but I think it's very important that we do that, and that we are doing what we're passionate about. And knowing that even if you are working in your passion, I know that I'm working my passion. Hey James, thanks for joining me, mate. If you are working in your passion, they say, get a job that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Now that is somewhat true. It's more that you get a job that you love and you tolerate doing the things that job does, because no matter what, you're always going to have to work in your job. It's just that you enjoy that work, but there's going to be parts of it. Every job, there's parts that you don't like, but you're willing to tolerate those parts because you enjoy the work. So being a personal trainer, I don't like the admin side of stuff. I like training people, but to train people, I've got to do other stuff to get people there. Oh, what's he saying? What's Michael said? Let me just read this. In my early life work, I changed jobs a number of times. Finally found my niche and stayed at the job for 22 years. Left this job when I retired. That's great, Michael. That's great. And I was having a conversation with my dad, and he said that they say back in the day it was you'd have 7 jobs. You'd have 7 different jobs in your life, or careers, sorry. You'd have 7 different careers in your life. Now they say it's up to 20. Our generation is going to have potentially 20. I've already had like four jobs, and I'm 28. So I feel like I found it early. I feel quite lucky in that regard that I'm going to stick with it, with personal training, and I'm going to continue on that. But my role might change a little bit. I'll go probably maybe go down different sort of paths, but I feel like it'll always be in the fitness and health industry. But yeah, so that's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Michael. I appreciate that. And now you're doing a bit of personal training, you're doing a bit of coaching in the netball. So you're really enjoying that retirement, which is great. Always good to hear. But yeah, again, team, let me know. Are you transitioning from one role to another? Are you sort of positioning yourself so that you can get that awesome role? I'd be interested to know, because sometimes people get stuck in those roles, and I know the old school mentality was find a job that pays the bills and then do that for 40 years and then retire. Personally, that sounds like absolute hell to me, because what if you don't like that job? Well, you just got to do it because that's what you train. And I was actually listening to Jordan Peterson's book, and I think this is a very relevant story. So it was about not giving up the part to save the whole. So it's called How to Catch a Monkey. So with monkey catchers, what they do is they get a jar. They get a jar and they put nuts in there. They put nuts in the jar, and then they put a trail of nuts. And so the jar has a very small opening, and then it's a bigger jar, and it's got nuts in there. So then the monkey comes along, it finds the nuts, cool. It finds the jar. It puts its hand in the jar, and then it grabs the nuts. And then it can't pull its hand out because it's got a fistful of nuts. And it tries, it can't get it out. And then the monkey catcher just has to come up and grab the monkey. And he's got him. The monkey won't give up the part to save the whole. So will you not give up the part? So you've got this job, maybe it's not for you, but you've been doing it for a long time and you're qualified in it. You may have to, you go, oh, man, I want to do X, but it means I've got to do Y. I've got to train, I've got to study. It's going to be like a massive, I'm here, then I'm going to have to go down to here, and then to build back up to there, you know? Will you not give up the part to save the whole? Because if you don't give up that part, you get down 20 years down the track and it's retirement. You go, shit, man, I wish I had done something with my life because I just worked that job that I didn't like. I really wish I'd done that thing, you know, started that business or changed and done that, you know. So I think that's a really good lesson. And that's where I'm going to leave it, team. I hope that is insightful, how to catch a monkey. But yeah, make sure you let me know where you're at, team. I'd really love to know. So yeah, that's the reason why I quit, because I wanted to follow my passion. So thank you very much for joining me. I will be doing Mindful Monday tomorrow, and then Workout Wednesday, and then again for Self-Reflection Sunday next week. Thank you for joining me, team. Thank you very much.